Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So if you didn't know, I already have 3 tattoos, and this video is the journey I took to get my 4th tattoo. So before we get on into this video, if you're new, welcome. I'm Gabby. I do videos every week on a Sunday. That is the vlog of my week, and then Wednesday I do a video that relates to that video as closely as possible. I have taken a 2-week sabbatical due to some bad issues that were going on in my personal life. I have done a video on those, so I'll have them linked up in the iCard and down below for you. Go check them out. Also, don't forget to click that subscribe button and the thumbs up while you're down there, and let's just get on into this video. So if you've never got a tattoo before, just some tips. Research the artist that you want and the studio. Make sure that they are the best they can be. Make sure that they have no awful reviews, multiple bad reviews. Look at their artwork, go to their Instagram. If you know people that have gone to that studio who are going to the artist that you want to see, look at their finished piece of work on their body. Because a tattoo that you think you like in that style, you may see on a person and not like, but also it gives you an idea of how that tattoo is going to heal, while also keeping in mind that a healed tattoo only looks as good as what the person has put the effort into. By that I mean, if someone hasn't looked after their tattoo during the healing process, no matter how good the artist's work is never going to look its best. So if you are going to a person or friend who has that bodywork, make sure you're going to someone you know takes care of that tattoos in the healing process and after. Make sure that you are comfortable going into that studio and that you have the funds to do so. Don't be afraid to ask for a quotation, a rough idea of price, because good tattoos will cost you a large chunk of change. Obviously, with everything going on with COVID, make sure you know the studio rules. So if you're going to need a mask, multiple masks, making sure that you bring a water, a drink, food if necessary, because if you're going to be there for a long session, then you're going to need something to keep you going. Also, please make sure that you eat and you have drank enough water before you go. There are lots of videos from tattoo artists to people who have more tattoos than me that give better advice. All you have to do is search it, and I will try and find some and have them linked down below for you guys. When you go in, they're going to ask you what sort of tattoo you're looking for, roughly the size and placement of your tattoo, and please have a rough idea. Also be aware that certain places are going to hurt more than others, so anything near bone, anything close to kind of personal areas are going to hurt more. Your face, all these things are going to hurt more. I have one on my wrist. Personally, it didn't hurt that much for me. The colouring hurt more than anything, but my tattoo up here, which is the one we're talking about, didn't hurt at all. Honestly, it felt like I was getting scratched, and that was it, which is pretty much what's happening. So getting on to how I booked my tattoo, I had been looking at my tattoo artist and the studio she works in. I've been looking at their Instagram for a while, so since pretty much lockdown began, and I was intrigued by her work. I thought it was interesting and unique and different, and I'd heard of watercolor tattoos and they had piqued my interest. I personally waited all the way through lockdown, A, because you couldn't get a tattoo, but because I wanted to make sure this was something I liked and wanted. I decided that a watercolor tattoo was something I really wanted, and it was very different than what I'd had before, but it also meant a lot. I really love Stitch, and Ohana, it means family, and my immediate family are very close. Me and my dad are super close, me and my brother are super close, and we as a little family unit are close, and so it just made sense. And Stitch reminds me of my little brother Nathan, and so with all that in mind, I decided that actually this was something I wanted to put my money into and I wanted to get. So to book my personal tattoo, I decided to go via Instagram and to message the studio itself, and I messaged them on the 31st of July to inquire as to how much roughly the tattoo would be. I didn't mind what size it was. All I knew is that I wanted it in watercolor, I wanted Ohana, I wanted Stitch, and I wanted it on my upper arm. So Nikita, who was my tattoo artist that day, said she could do it for $200 for my upper arm, and I will put a picture here so you know how big the actual tattoo is. Once we had agreed on the price, I wasn't going to haggle her. I knew that was a good price for the size, the fact that it was in color, and the placement. I knew that was a really good price, particularly at the time I wanted a full quote. So I was actually presuming more than I got. In the end, we did decide to change it to just Ohana, which worked better for me, honestly, because if I want to add anything to this tattoo, then I have the space to do so, whereas before I wouldn't have. And my personal tattoo shop requires 50% upfront, so I had to put in a £100 deposit, which I have evidence of here, via PayPal to prove that I was actually taking the slot. And the slot I ended up taking was Friday the 14th of August at 2 p.m. Once I decided and that was booked, I had to pick a position I wanted to stitch in. So the photo reference I decided to send over was this one, and I just thought he was cheeky and cute, and it actually reminded me of a face that my little brother makes sometimes. And once that was booked, they sent me over a list of their rules, which I will leave here. So these rules are different than standard rules because of COVID, and your studio, depending where you decide to go, will maybe have different rules, maybe have the same, but these are the ones that my studio gave me. I was happy to go by those, as really they're no different than any other shop that you're going in. So the basics of them were to make sure you didn't have a fever, cancel your appointment if you got sick, obviously, to wear a face mask, to bring any food and drink, the standard, and to obviously make sure you had your means of paying with you. And honestly, that was all the contact I had with my studio up until the tattoo, because it was booked, I had the rules, and I wasn't sick previously, so I was able to just go in and get it done. So on the day, I filled out a consent form. I also filled out a track and trace form, just so they had my address and my number in case someone I had come in contact with that day around that time had sadly been in contact with someone with COVID. Once I'd signed off on the tattoo and the design, we put the stencil on. So she placed the stencil on and hand wrote the ohana that comes around the ear, and I personally like the placement of it. And then once we agreed on that and how it looked, we went straight into tattooing. Sadly, I didn't get any footage of that because it was done really quickly and we were too busy talking. We were kind of getting to know each other because I like to make sure I have at least a friendly basis with my tattoo artists. She will be the second person who's ever tattooed me, and if I'm going to go in there more to get a couple more, I want to make sure that I'm comfortable going in there and talking to them. And I spoke to a few of them, they're really nice. Solo art, I will have them linked down below for you guys to go check out. I'll leave my tattoo artist who did the stitch piece down below as well. Please go check her out, she's amazing. If you're in the Nottinghamshire area, certainly someone I would consider being tattooed by. She does some amazing work, not just watercolor either, so if you want something that isn't watercolor, she can still do it for you. So coming to the day, the night before, I made sure I showered, shaved, etc. Anything else I felt the need to do, just because it's nice to feel fresh, because you're not going to be able to have a long soak in a bath for a few weeks, but also it's good to have that on top hygiene every day, but particularly if you're going to go in for a tattoo, because it is going to have plasma, etc. leaking out of it for a few hours, and obviously you want to make sure that your body and going in and out is as sterile as it can be while getting a tattoo. We talked about my other tattoos and sort of why I was interested in getting it in watercolor, and it took roughly 45 minutes to an hour for her to get done. So here are some pictures of it freshly finished tattoo, like within minutes of it being done, and then here is some footage of me actually coming out of the studio and showing you it all wrapped up. So once you've done that and you've been tattooed, they will wrap you up either in some cling film, as I was, or a second skin. So this is sort of a stick-on plaster that doesn't hurt your tattoo, but it's something that makes sure that nothing can get in it. Your tattoo artist will tell you how long to keep the covering on for. She told me to keep mine on for as long as possible, 2 to 4 hours at minimum. So after going to get my tattoo done, I went cinema. It's a good way to fill in some time, and it also meant that by the time I got home, I could unwrap my tattoo if I wanted to, which leads us into sort of the care of it. So let's just jump on into that. So I'm in my bathroom and I have just started to uncover my tattoo, so I thought I would pop you up somewhere and actually show you the process of uncovering it and cleaning it, and maybe even showing Dad it clean for the first time. So, excess ink and plasma and stuff on this, so don't worry about it, just fold it up, throw it away. Close up, this is freshly uncovered tattoo. It looks gunky and horrible, I know. I'm gonna pop you down. Follow your tattoo artist's instructions. Find what works for you, because what might work for them might not work for you. I personally use the tattoo goo. This is their deep cleansing soap for tattoos and piercings. My tattoo artist recommends me letting it just breathe on its own for 24 hours before I moisturize it, so that's what I'm gonna do. But make sure you're always washing it with warm soapy water and either using a tattoo soap or using one that has no scents in it, so like Dove and something like that. Let me go grab my kitchen roll. So the things you're gonna need is your fresh tattoo, kitchen roll, clean hands, soap. First step, washing hands with soap, getting them nice and clean. Previous tattoo. Put your base on it. So you're going to get your hand wet, whichever I'm going to use. My left hand comes with my right arm. During this process, you are probably going to feel that your tattoo is suddenly feeling a tad tight and tender. This is the extra part of your hand. Lather it up nicely, like that. Once you've done it, you just rinse the water out. I will re-wash my hands and then I will show you how to dry it. So the tattoo is wet, you'll take your dry kitchen roll, take about 2 sheets. First one, you are going to gently just swipe up and it's going to get the rest of the excess ink. Then with your second one, you're just gonna dab. Getting any excess water off under you. And that is it. That is the tattoo clean. And now I'm gonna go shoot that. Now that it's clean, I can show properly. The next morning, this is what it looks like. So I've just washed it with warm soapy water, and then I put some of the tattoo goo after care lotion on, so it looks a little shiny, but it's looking good. I left it dry for 24 hours like she told me to, and now it's just cleaning it 3 to 4 times a day with lotion. Hey guys, thank you for watching this video. If you're interested to see how my stitch tattoo looks during healing and also at the end of healing, go ahead and click that subscribe button and the thumbs up button so you get notified when part 2 is uploaded in about 2 weeks, and I will see you all next time. Don't forget to leave a comment down below. Tell me if you have ever been tattooed or if you've ever wanted a tattoo, and also if you're in the East Midlands area, leave the link to your tattoo artist's Instagram, Facebook page, wherever, so that we can all check each other's tattoo artists out and their studios. There guys. If you enjoyed this video, go ahead and subscribe by clicking over here. If you want to see my other tattoo content, click up above. Or if you want to see my latest upload, click over here.